I think we need it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It seems like we've been living with a lot of resistance to all of this because there are big pharmaceutical companies and mega corporations that seem to have their own agenda, and it's not necessarily good health for all in a natural setting. So it seems that there's going to have to be some kind of breakdown of the old systems, including our reliance on oil and metered utilities and various other things that really should have been obsolete 50 or 60 years ago.
Yeah, we definitely, we can't keep living the way we are. I mean, we're depleting the environment. Eventually, the oil is going to run out.
Yeah.
And I just saw a commercial for, I think it was Acura or Honda. They're trying to make a lot of these new cars, and they're talking about they know that one day we're not going to have oil, so they're trying to think ahead in the future to create, cars that can run on algae and all kinds of different things. And I think we should have been doing this years ago.
Oh, absolutely. Well, another thing that's a little disturbing is the atomic situation. Rather than finding alternatives, that's going to be quite a problem at some point. I'm sure there are ways to resolve it, but the waste, it has a half-life of, thousands, if not millions of years. So I don't know any containers that can contain nuclear waste for that long, and it's a very dangerous substance. So that seems to be the wrong direction, and there really is no way that coal can be cleaned up, and it just ravages the earth.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to stop ravaging our natural resources and find innovative ways to supply our needs that are clean and efficient and that don't require plugs and various other things. I think Tesla did a lot of work on that, didn't he? Yeah, so we're ready for an evolutionary leap, no matter how you slice it. And I think those people who are, like us, and all of our wonderful listeners that are really into the changes and flowing with them and not resisting them are going to have a much easier time than those who are resisting and trying to actually stop the evolution that's inevitable for us. It's like an evolutionary leap, and it's equivalent to a chrysalis becoming a butterfly, really.
Exactly. And I find that, I think that's why a lot more people are becoming physically sick, too, as well. I myself have, been, gone through lots of illness the last couple of years, and everyone I've talked to has had different strange health things popping up and going through, and it's really, I feel like our physical bodies are transforming and really evolving, and going through a lot of change, just a lot of physical, hardship, a lot of illness, as our bodies are. I think it's because we're spiritually, energy-wise, our energy's changing, our vibration's changing, and that's, causing illness. If we resist change, that's when illness comes in the body, and any kind of stress that we resist will manifest in our body somewhere. And it's easier said than done, but we all have to, put our own effort in to try to be healthy and allow this change to happen. And and try to figure out why we're getting sick and, and what types of illnesses we have and what's causing that, what thought patterns are causing that, what emotions that are repressed that are causing those illnesses and things like that. So we can work through these changes,
Absolutely. Well, now tell me just a little bit about your new book that you're going to be coming out with soon.
Yes, there's the two books that I wrote. The one is with Lelowin, and it's called A Practical Look at the Planets in the Houses, and it's going to look at each planet through each astrological house, and it's going to give a real, my goal of writing the book is to write it in a basic way where anyone can read it and understand it. So you don't have to have an advanced knowledge of astrology to understand what I'm saying and how it relates to you, because it's going to validate your own personality. And anyone that has a basic chart can look up everything and read it easily. So that,
that's wonderful.
That's my goal. And so that book should be out in 2010. I've already finished it and sent the manuscript in. And then the book I'm working on right now is The Mysteries of the Eighth House, Phoenix Rising. And this is a book I started several years ago, and the reason I'm writing this book is for my eighth house clients. I wrote an article called The Mysteries of the Eighth House, House of Death and Transformation.
That's a wonderful article.
Thank you. That's how you found me. And I wrote that, and I've had so much response from people from all over the world. I have people email me. I get about 3 emails a week about that article with people sharing their personal eighth house stories with me. And I started collecting. I have over 100 emails from people that have eighth house planets, and they share their stories, and they're all the same stories I found through my research. And I decided I'm going to write a book about this for them, and I'm going to actually have some of their stories in that book. Some of the people that allowed me to do that, keeping themselves anonymous. Writing this book is going to be hands-on, true life experiences from eighth house people, and different techniques to help eighth house people. We're going to talk about death and rebirth, healing abilities, depression, loneliness, how to fight through that, how to survive that, being an eighth house person, sexuality, there's always issues with that when you're an eighth house person, and learning about that, feeling victimized at some time in your life is what a lot of eighth house people share with me. So I talk a lot about healing, sexual victimization, healing old wounds from the past, and it's going to be really a astrology counseling type of a book. And I'm working on it now, and it's going to be done this year and be out pretty soon. So.
Well, that we could just segue into how people can find you, since we're just about out of time.
Sure.
Give people your website so that they can look up your articles and find out how to get your books. And I can't wait to read them myself and have you back, and we can talk about it.
That sounds great. Yeah.
So what is your website for everybody?
My website is it's called the Astrological Self-Awareness Center, and it's HTTP / and it's astrology-awareness.com.
Wonderful. Well, do you have any parting words of wisdom before we sign out for the evening?
I would just like to thank you for having me on, and for all the listeners. And if you have any questions about the 8th or 12th house, feel free to email me, and love to connect with you. And thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I just love talking to you, Carmen, and we'll talk again soon. And I'm going to be following your new books, and because I'm a dummy, I need to read the 101 version,
Sure.
So thank you so much for sharing your time and your experience and your love and your heart with all of us.
Thank you, Lance.
All right.
Good night.
And, good night. Good night, everybody.
Good night.